All right. Ah, well, this is my first YouTube video, so I will be filming all of this myself. Um, just the other day, 2 days ago, I bought an F-350. This one is a dump bed F-350 dually with a 360 FE motor in it, and I picked it up for $800, and I'm going to try to revive it. You can see it's been sitting in a field for quite some time. I just did some work to it. Mice got at just about everything on this poor truck. There's a lot of things I have to do. I'm not really too sure where to begin. I'm going to start by sourcing a fuel pump for this, because if I can fit my camera down there, there is no fuel pump. Now, the guy before me said that it cranked, but it wouldn't start. So I hooked a battery charger up to the battery terminals. It does actually crank over. The reason it doesn't start may or may not be obvious. Not exactly mechanically inclined. First things first, I'll give a rundown of the truck. It has some rust to it, but you know, for an $800 truck, it's not bad at all. Last night I took it to a shop and filled up all the tires, pressure washed it, cleaned out the interior, and I will cut to that now. So the seat definitely isn't original, not that it's that big of a deal. It is a 4-speed. The clutch seemingly works. We'll have to test that out at a later date. It does have pressure though. The brakes, however, just kind of go straight to the floor. This mouse smell is intoxicating, so I'm absolutely not going to stay in there for much longer. This is my first time trying to not only revive something of this caliber, as you can see, but this is my first time trying to record a YouTube video too. So I have no idea what I'm doing. This poor girl needs a fuel pump. I gotta get a hold of that. And then, after I get a hold of a fuel pump, I could get a fuel system going, and we'll assess from there. The main thing I want to do is see if it could cough to life. For that, I need to put some new wires on it. I need to repair the mice damage. I need to run some wires from here to here. Once I've assessed the fuel and the spark system, we could see if it turns over and kicks to life. And if not, then we'll assess from there. There's a lot of things that need to be done to this truck. It needs brakes. It needs to start. I don't know the condition of the transmission. I guess I'll have to find that out after I dive a little bit deeper into the engine. But we'll just see how it goes. This is a total outtake. I lost a screwdriver. That's kind of hard to see. So right now I have a camera in the bottom of the oil pan. Low battery, perfect. To look and see, I did some digging around off camera just to investigate for mice, and I didn't find any sort of debris or mouse nest inside the actual block, which is a very good sign. So now knowing that, I feel a little bit more comfortable putting a fuel pump on it and screwing it all back together and moving forward. Okay, so I just spent about 5 minutes hooking some of these wires up that the mouse decimated. I'm just going to quickly throw some tape around it just to make it look pretty. And then, just for kicks, I'll take out the spark plugs, see how they look. Look inside all the cylinders, make sure there's no debris or anything like that, you know, something living in cylinder 8. And then if it all looks good, I'll put the plugs back on and hook up a new set of plug wires just to get that kind of out of the way, and then I'll assess the fuel pump issue. I wonder how hard it's going to be to wrestle these things off. Sure do give you a run for your money. Oh, perfect. This is going to be a long build. Look at all of this good stuff in here, man. This is going to smell real good when it fires up. That is nasty. Oh, look who's home from work. The man with all the answers. Hi. What do you think?
It smells.
I hooked up some of the wiring for the coil. Just try to get a little closer.
Oil out of it.
Huh?
Where is it leaking oil?
Uh-oh.
Or is that the radiator?
Oh yeah, that's just cooling.
Hey, get out of it. Come on, you make it hurt dirty. Get out of it. What are you two clowns doing?
So I was able to crack one of the plugs loose. It doesn't look too horrible. In order to save the headache of trying to take the rest of them out, I'm just going to call this good and put it back in and move on. Alright, so I've been doing a lot of research. Obviously the sun went down a little bit since I last recorded. There's a couple things I need to go run out and get. For instance, I need to get a fuel pump. I need to get some lines to connect the carburetor to the fuel pump. I need to get a bunch of miscellaneous stuff for it, and I need to get a battery too. So hopefully I will be able to get the electrical system hooked up and assess what works. I'm not going to be getting it running this video, but hopefully I can get it turned over, get some lights going, get some electronics going, see what works, what doesn't, and assess from there. So I'm going to go run and get some parts. Okay, so I just did a bunch of shopping around. Bought a blemished battery from Interstate Batteries. It was $60. I bought a bunch of parts to get working front brakes on the truck. We'll worry about the rear brakes later, but for now we'll get the front brakes dialed in and go from there. I got drum shoes to finish that off, and I got my fuel pump. So now I just need to make a line going from the fuel pump up to the carburetor. That's a project for another day. All the stores are closed. It's dark. It's cold. What I'm going to do is hook up the battery, hook up a distributor cap and plug wires, and then we will turn it over, maybe spray a little brake cleaner down the carb just to try to get it to kick to life. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And if you made it this far in the video, I applaud you, because I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to YouTube. I kind of know what I'm doing when I'm building old cars. I know I'm not going to get the truck fired in today's video, but I'm going to try to get it turned over, and in future videos to come, we will get it closer to get it running. I'll have some buddies come over, give me a hand with that, talk a little bit, joke a little bit, and it should be a better quality video. So if you're still here, I appreciate you watching. And screw it together. Alright, and now we have the positive side changed over, so now let's work on the negative side. I'm trying to keep this on somewhat of a budget. I still don't know if it's going to knock, if it's going to even run at all, if it's going to go in gear. In theory, it should do everything I just listed, but in case it doesn't, that's why I'm trying to keep it cheap. So for now, we're just going to do the bare minimum until we figure out a little bit more, which has kind of been the anthem of this entire video, is I just need to figure things out. And now we have 2 working clamps. That's the right size. Oh! Look at that. I accidentally left my marker lights on, apparently. So we know that works. We don't have cab lights for some reason, but we have marker lights. And we have gauge lights. That's super cool. It's hard to tell with the flash on, but okay, so we don't have any headlights at the moment, but oh, hey, we got wipers. I'm gonna stop doing that before I hurt something. Oh, come on. Come on, girl. And it turns over. Okay, cool. The starter is hooked up. The starter works. We can now turn the motor over. That's really cool. Okay, cool. We're on a good pace here. So now what I'm going to do is hook up the distributor cap, hook up all the wires, hook up the coil, since I already ran power to the coil earlier in the video. Mind you, I still need to address the fuel pump issue, but if I can hook up the spark system, pour a little bit of gasoline down the carburetor, and see if it kicks to life. If it kicks to life, that's a really good sign. And then in the next video, I'll attach the fuel system and we can see if we can get this thing running. So I hooked up all of the plug wires. Now I'm going to go get gasoline, pour it down the carburetor, not blow up the truck, and it's going to start and run just fine. Just you watch. And squirt some gasoline here. So let's get this throttle opened. Get some gas all up in there. Get some gas down in that carburetor. Now let's see if she fires. I'm not really too sure what I expected, to be honest. There's not a fuel pump going to it. There's no fuel. The spark plugs are black. Who knows the condition of this carburetor with all the mice that are in there? There very well could be some sort of rat's nest. So now that I'm looking down the carburetor for the first time, I'm definitely going to want to get some sort of a rebuild happening. That is really disgusting. Yeah. So overall, kind of an uneventful video. I didn't get it fired. I got a little bit done, but no fire. So next video, something to look forward to. I'm going to try to get it fired. I got the fuel pump. Once the store's open, by the next day I work on it, probably tomorrow, I will be able to get everything I need to finish the fuel system, get some gas in the tank, get some brake cleaner for the carburetor, and we can hopefully try to get it to come back to life. That's the idea. There's a lot that needs to be done on this truck. I know it's going to be a project. There's going to be copious amounts of money going into this thing. But for starters, we fixed some wires. We hooked up some wires, and tomorrow we will get at the fuel system and we'll see what happens. So if you're still watching, I appreciate it. There is more to come. There's a lot to do on this truck, honestly. I'm going to learn a lot doing this, and I'm going to bring this truck back to life. It might take a lot, it might take a little. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll be able to get this truck revived. The idea is I do. And I'm not going to stop working on it. I'm not going to stop filming it. I'm going to keep putting out my really horrible quality self-made videos until it runs. But for now, I got a lot done today. Tomorrow, I'll work on the fuel system. I'll try to get it running, and we'll go from there. So I appreciate you watching the video, and I will see you next time.